Studied this and thought about this a lot. And there definitely is a tension these days. The theory that makes the most, so first I want to step back and say that this falls into what I like to think of as a complex problem. Complex problems are defined by the fact that they have multiple factors which increase them. It's never just one thing. It's a whole bunch of stuff interacting in ways that you can't really understand, which makes what makes them complex and hard to deal with. I think one of the major ones is after the civil rights movement of the 1960s, the next logical thing to happen would be building up the Black community financially, making those areas in the cities where they were dangerous better. And that never really happened. And in the Black community, there's a lot of people still unhappy about that. And when you're unhappy and you think things should be done better and changing, you're looking for someone to blame. And the Jews are a very easy target because a lot of people have blamed them for a lot of things, and that big concern of what's happening with us financially, they see the Jews as the group that is doing the best financially, and therefore they want to know where theirs are. And I think that as a Jewish community, we often don't do a good job of explaining the different cultural things that help success happen to certain people in our community. And for these people who oftentimes have never had a positive interaction with a Jew, it's easy for them to get jealous and angry and bitter. The other aspect that I learned recently, I've been thinking about a lot, is there are some people who say that a big part of the reason was Jewish involvement in the civil rights movement. And this is kind of a roundabout one, but it's an interesting one to think about because a lot of Jews are really proud of the involvement in the civil rights movement, and they should be. But during the civil rights movement, there was a tension between two camps, best exemplified by Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. The Martin Luther King Jr. camp wanted integration. The Malcolm X camp wanted separation. They wanted the Black community to move out from the white community. Black nationalists, we want a powerful Black nation, our own army. And a lot of the intellectuals of the Black community are heirs to that kind of ideology of Black nationalism. And if that is the root of what you want, then Jewish involvement in the civil rights movement, kind of getting Blacks to integrate into white society, was not a good thing and moved you away from your goals and weakened the Black community. And so those people, I think, at least, well, it made a lot of sense that they would have problems with kind of very similar to people who say like, oh, you know, the Jews are bringing the immigrants to ruin it. Like, oh, the Jews wanted integration between the Blacks and the other whites so they could water down the Black community and make them less strong, which is another interesting way to think about it. And then going back to the other thing you asked, which is a path forward. there's a lot of good things going on between the conversations, even if it's not like front page news. But I think the biggest thing that's missing is friendship. We talk a lot about this idea of allyship nowadays, like allying yourself with the community because you support them and their goals, you want to help them get to where they want to get to. But what really changes minds when it comes to stereotypes that we believe in, it's personal interactions with people that you care about. When you have more Black people with Jewish friends and more Jewish people with Black friends, that's how you start changing the minds. And that has to go well beyond this university thing. Remember, if you're from a family where people went to college, you probably have this like idea that like everyone goes to college. 1/3 of Americans have college degrees. Most Americans do not go to college, but we kind of live in these bubbles. How can you make friends with people outside of your educational class, your socioeconomic class, real friendships where you care each other and love each other? I think that is what really changes minds.